Hey, YouTube! This is Trainboy54. And what do I have here with me on the pool table, you ask? Well, this is actually a Trackmaster Edward. It's more rather an unusual version of Edward. Well, we're gonna get this unusual Edward out of the packaging, and I'll be comparing him with these four Edwards that I have on the pool table as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and have the unusual Edward out of the packaging right now. Okay. Well, we've got the unusual version of Edward out of the packaging. Now to get a closer look at Edward. Okay. Oh. This Trackmaster Edward does look unusual. He's more of a 4 bogey wheel, 4 driving wheel, 0 rear gauge wheel. Something like that. A bit of a smudge white paint on his face. I think I can get that off. There. That's how I do it. A little bit more will fix. There. That should do. 3 driving wheels? No bogey wheel? Huh. How unusual. Edward's tender. Well, there's just no painted buffers on the back of the tender. The number 2 is okay. Well, let's compare this Edward with the other 4 Edwards that I have, and have a look. There's my Trackmaster Edward. These 2 trucks came along with the Tomy Playrail Edward. I still got the Tomy Edward in my Thomas & Friends collection. I'll show you that later. There's a Trackmaster 2012 Edward. That's the Edward that we just unboxed and checked out. There is a Talking Edward. I still got a redesigned Trackmaster Edward. This is the glow-in-the-dark Trackmaster Edward. Looking at them, the unusual Edward is very different to the other 4 Edwards. Matching the lineups up close. Well, the Talking Edward is definitely the longest. Unusual Edward and 2012 Edward are pretty much the same. My Trackmaster Edward is less long. Looks like the Trackmaster redesigned glow-in-the-dark Edward is about that short. Well, is the unusual Edward faster and better than the other Edwards? There's only one way to find out. We'll have a little race with the unusual Edward and the other 4 Edwards. One Edward at a time. Starting with my Trackmaster Edward first. So, I'll get a battery in the unusual Edward and give him a run. Okay, well, the unusual version of Trackmaster Edward got a battery, and have a look and listen to this. It sounds like it's a, well, smooth runner. But let's race the unusual Edward against the 4 Edwards that I have. Starting with my Trackmaster Edward. Okay, on your mark, get set, go! The unusual Edward is taking the lead. Look at it go! Apparently, my Trackmaster Edward isn't fast enough. Oh well, that's just at least my Trackmaster Edward. Here's the Trackmaster 2012 version of Edward. It's similar, they both have couplings to disconnect their tenders. Will the Trackmaster 2012 Edward beat the unusual version of Edward? On your mark, get set, go! Just not fast enough to catch up with the unusual version of Edward. At least, the Trackmaster 2012 version of Edward has 2 front bogey wheels. Let's try my Trackmaster Talking Edward. Just to turn on the switch from the tender. On your mark, get set, go! So close. I thought given the Trackmaster 2000... My bad. I thought giving the Trackmaster Talking Edward a head start was a good idea. You probably can't hear the Talking Edward talking, can you? Oh well. At least the Talking Edward did his best. Now for the redesigned Trackmaster, glow-in-the-dark Edward. Let's see if the unusual version of Edward beats the redesigned Trackmaster version of Edward. The glow-in-the-dark Trackmaster Revolution Edward, that is. On your mark, get set, go. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, that was a little too fast. Oh, you know what? This was my rocket-powered glow-in-the-dark Edward. I think I still have the regular glow-in-the-dark Edward in my Thomas & Friends collection somewhere. I'll be about a moment. Okay, we're back. And here's the real Trackmaster Revolution glow-in-the-dark Edward. The rocket-powered Edward is put off to the side. Its unusual version of Trackmaster Edward versus Trackmaster Revolution glow-in-the-dark Edward. Take two. On your mark, get set, go! Oh, yes! Look at Trackmaster glow-in-the-dark Edward go! So much for the unusual version of Edward. Trackmaster 2, glow-in-the-dark Edward, has taken the lead with 2 AAA batteries. We'll give Edward one last quick lap around the pool table. Here comes the unusual version of Trackmaster Edward. And here comes glow-in-the-dark Edward. Well, the unusual version of Edward has beaten these 3 Edwards, except for the glow-in-the-dark Revolution version of Edward. What are your folks' thoughts on the unusual version of Trackmaster Edward? I could keep this Edward in my Trackmaster Thomas & Friends collection. That's the least thing I'll do. So let's give all of the Edwards a quick run around the pool table and see how they look. It'll be the way to end this video right here for today. So thanks for watching. Hope you all liked this video, and stay tuned for more Trainboy54 videos of 2023. Take care to you all. Okay, there are all the 5 Edwards. Let's give them all a little run. It might be a Edward, the number 2 blue engine train demolition derby. Maybe not, so be prepared. Oh! I probably should have started the rocket-powered... No, I should have started Redesign Trackmaster glow-in-the-dark Edward first. Or save it first.